if it will do it this time, Trina. I think
I
it
know.
might.
Yeah.
It says we're live.
Yay.
Yeah,
Oh, I
so
think we
all
are.
right. I mean, we're live. So welcome everybody. Favor and Bosto to you, babies. And
Absolutely.
this is the second look. So I am seeing it. It says we're live, but I
See, I
can't see
checked
that it's
too.
live yet. Do you see it? It's live?
I will look. Let me see.
It says watching. Um, let's see.
Let me
Now
see.
it's live. I can see it.
Oh, yeah, we're live. I see the
Yeah,
red dot and everything.
yeah, I see the red dot. And
Good.
hey, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, peace. How are y'all? To all the energies and entity energies out there. Hey, man, just calm down. All
Look
right.
at all the technical funness. Yes, it's great.
It is nuts. So welcome everyone. We just speak favor over us all, over the whole world, the whole situation. Do the Bosto thing, be of service to others, give the virtual hug, because everybody
Okay.
needs a tug from the
Okay.
virtual hug.
Here, my bear.
Wow, okay, now we get the real bear hug. You know what? I'm digging that, Trina. I'm digging that.
Mm,
All right, Sky Pilot. Yeah,
bear.
yeah, Sky Pilot really digs your bear there.
I like him too. It's such a good bear.
That's the kind you really want to
Oh,
hug. I mean, that's a real
yeah.
bear hug.
Oh, so
I'm
happy.
feeling the vibes. I'm just going to take that in. All
Telling you
right.
there's something about the bear.
I'm telling you, there is something about the bear,
Yeah. Yes.
and I've lived in East Tennessee, I've lived out here, and bears are a reality. Well, out here, mountain lions, but bears are just you want to go up and cuddle them, but you know what? They'll
Yeah.
head off with
Yeah. Wild bears. Yeah. No.
boom.
Uh-huh.
Like,
If you
okay.
see babies,
Yeah.
run.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
get out of the area because mama's going to be
Mm-mm,
nearby.
mm-mm,
Hmm.
not happening. Hey, big shout out to Big Al and Perry.
Hi.
We love you guys. Yesterday, Trina, it said that we were live, and it was really odd because I looked over and I could see myself, but it wasn't live. But I record all the shows. See, I know, Cody.
Are you
Come on,
that's
pretty boy.
Zodiac? That's my talker.
He's a pretty boy. He's feeling the energy. He's like, oh yeah, I can dig that
They
hug stuff.
they do.
Yeah, they
It's
do.
so
I
funny. They
I,
totally do. It's crazy
I
amazing.
think it. And so, happy birthday to anyone's having one an anniversary. So, man, a lot of people
You know
in
what's
the chat. What's
you know
up?
what's so weird?
What? Well,
I
which
woke up
one? Which?
this
What?
morning,
What?
right? And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this one's like tripping me out. I woke up this morning and I was still kind of asleep, and I was laying in bed and had thought of Brian in my head, and I was just laying there with my eyes closed. And then I got up and I was gonna go, make coffee. And when you're half awake and not really fully awake yet, and I literally, when I was like, got out of the bed and started walking to the hallway, I literally got a glimpse of Brian standing right there, and I walked right through him. Phew. It was very strange. And then I opened up my phone, and for whatever reason, my happy birthday Trina Phoenix video was on my phone from Brian.
Is it your birthday today?
No, it's not till
Oh,
April, which is really weird.
that's weird.
Yeah, it was like my phone disconnected from the internet or whatever, so it went to downloaded videos, and out of all the downloads, it picked that one. Yeah, very strange, right?
There's a lot going on, Trina.
I
That is
thought that
strange,
was just
and
like mind blowing. I was like, whoa.
there is a belief. In fact, this is goes into the ancient Huberic belief when there were actually Hebrews. There are no Hebrews today, but they have a custom that says that when you think of someone, they become aware of it and are actually pulled towards that. That's why they say, legends never die, heroes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Heroes are legends and legends never die.
they explained it to me. It's like calling them on the phone.
Ah,
That's what they
oh,
said. They said when you start to think of them, they said you're accessing their frequency, and it's like buzzing them on the phone. Like they're getting a signal. Like they completely are aware of it.
Listen, my show yesterday, I see Shannon the Wise April Fool. How are you doing, my dear? And yes, the energy is strange. I'm going to do the show tomorrow because I'll give you a little preview. I have an associate, and all I can say, he's a spook.
Mhm,
That's what he does. He's a spook.
mhm.
And so everyone get ready because Theo just shouted from the bath, "That's a ghost getting through." As Miss Jenny. Hey, Theo, we love you. And Jenny, we love you too. David Castle, we love you. And Nina. And anyway,
Absolutely.
um, how many, and I'm just going to do a little poll here, Trina. How many of you have noticed the background hum?
And I feel it.
Get ready, folks. I've got a show tomorrow you're not going to want to miss because he's not my friend. I got to tell you, he's not a friend. He's just an associate. Uh, I I don't hear from this dude for sometimes like years. And then he pops back in. Anyway, he gave me a heads up on what's happening. This hum, folks, this is what it's doing. And all of us know it. We can feel it. You can hear it. And the thing is, it's actually a very low. It's beyond our ability to hear, but our brains are affected by this low vibrational hum. So there you go. Tune in tomorrow because it's going to blow you away. And it got me to thinking, Trina. All right. So, by the way, I want to give a shout out. Trina, look at this. This is some of Marsha's work.
Marsha, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
let me show you mine.
See? Marsha, we love you, hon. Folks, you want
She
power in your
does
house?
amazing
See? Yep.
pyramids. This is my crystal too. That's my me and Brian memory crystal because it's a duality crystal
Ah,
that
yes.
carved the faces in it. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, oh,
So,
they're
Marsha,
beautiful.
we love you, girl. You have a gifting and a talent that um, my wife tells me when she comes into this office. She says the energy in here, she says, she says it's like if you're not prepared for it, it'll literally just hit you in the face.
It will. And you know what, Wayne, that is, I can prove that that's true because, when I got certified for working with hot stones,
Mm-hmm.
LaSone massage,
I could
that was
use one of
one of,
those, Trina.
it's
Could you come over
wonderful.
this afternoon?
I'm telling you, it is the most grounding. That's why we would laugh and we would call it, we're going to get you LaStoned. Because it was like a natural grounding, like LaStone, like it was
I can
amazing.
dig it. I mean, can you come over
Oh,
this afternoon?
right. You're only a few
No, I mean,
hours away,
serious.
Wayne. I
I
would
know she
love
lives
to.
down there.
But you know what? One of the most important warnings for that treatment was
What?
make sure nobody enters the room that is with child because the
Oh,
energy is so grounding that it can pull the child directly out of the uterus and can make them go into labor. Just because those rocks are so powerful and so grounding, they're like, do not let them enter the room. Just do not
wow.
do a massage on a pregnant woman and do not let a woman come into a room that has all of the healing rocks because they're very magnetic.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, a lot of people are saying they could use a massage. Yeah, I'm right here. I mean,
Me
anyone in
too. Oh, I
the
feel you.
South Denver area, let me know. Hey, Robert V is in the house. Good to see you. Organic Intelligence, how are you doing? And Martin and Heidi, hello. Morning Star, David Castle, we love you, brother. Cheese steak, good to see you, beloved abstract. So anyway,
Oh,
I
that's
love
so
these
good.
people. I'm
I
serious.
do too. I'm just like,
Now
oh
I
my
want
God.
a massage. You know what I bought? I
What?
bought some of the infrared lights.
Oh, light therapy. That's awesome.
Yes, I've gotten into it. I was out doing a little traveling in the astral plane, and what we don't realize is that we have tools right here, Trina,
Mhm.
that could heal a lot of the internal knots. That's how I'll put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've been working with light therapy for a long time. I actually had a product. I think you can still purchase them probably on Amazon. It was called a perk light, PERKLI, light. And
Mm-hmm.
it was just a little tiny device and it had a little, just a plexiglass, like arched clear uh, panel, and you would put it in the machine, and you would choose what you wanted to work on: spirituality, chakra systems, releasing toxins, grief,
Mm.
whatever. And it had a dial, and you would just go into whatever you wanted to work on, and then it would start throwing out the colors of light. And it's so simple, it's so powerful.
Excuse me. It is. And the thing that I've also found is that sound. So
Yes,
if you have sound and light,
yes,
that's one of the things I really got from the library Lilith was what she said, that each part of our body has a demigod that's over it and that responds to a certain frequency, a vibration.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Because what my stomach organ may need in the amplitude of sound would be different than, say, my calf muscle.
Yes, because they're different frequencies,
Yes, absolutely.
totally
Different
different
purposes.
frequencies.
You know,
Yeah, complete. Um, I was thinking about that this morning because I keep getting drawn to the seven chakras and how those are portals. They're
they are
gateways.
portals. By the way, thank you,
Yes.
Marcia. She sent me, I don't, there we go.
Oh, isn't that nice? A chakra
Uh,
one.
yes.
Yes.
Mm. So anyway,
Oh, beautiful. Oh, I love Marsha's stuff, man. You get
she
stuff from
just,
Marsha, it's like Christmas time. I'm
it
like,
is.
I
And I
was this
don't even
morning.
believe in
I had the
Christmas.
worst headache and I'm sitting with my rods of rock. And I'm like hearing all this beautiful information. And then I'm going back to what I saw from the stars in the hand from Lilith. And I was hearing connect these,
Yes.
bang
Yes.
them, and it'll activate the piezoelectric energies between them. So just to let you know, you're working piezoelectric. If you shake them or gently bang them together, it literally activates them. I can feel it in my head when I do that. So powerful. So just to let you know, I learned something new today.
I did. You know,
Yeah, it's
I did. Absolutely. Um,
powerful.
Jenny, I think, is helping Theo to take a bath. That could be an adventure.
Oh yeah.
I could just see that. And
Mm.
then, Trina, we have, of course, and I know Big Al, this is my healing bowl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And let's see if we could maybe, let's see here. There we go. See, yeah, you've got, yeah. So, folks, you're getting it all there. We're just getting it going for you. I love that one. See, that one has, I love that. Now, what is
G
yours in? D.
G God.
G.
G.
Okay. Mine is in F. F,
Yep.
I think
Which
it's,
is so funny because that's feminine, divine feminine, and I got the G, and I think, yeah,
yeah. We ought to get a
love
number of
masculine.
people who have the healing bowls, and we ought to do a show just for about 15 minutes where you don't do any talking. You
You
just,
make Al's dream come true. Al
yeah.
Sorello wants to have a singing bowl rock band. He is so wants the singing bowl band.
All right. I think that we're ready.
I know, right?
All right. So there we go.
Yeah, vibration is there's
Vibration,
it's
frequency. Yeah.
yeah, healing
Yeah.
with vibration. And when you integrate magnetics, light, and frequency,
Yes.
I think you can, like, that's when you're going to see like the miracles that people are talking about with these med beds and stuff.
I'm actually looking into a bed that incorporates a lot of this technology. And again, it's this sound, right?
Yeah, there's different kinds. So I mean, there's electromagnetic energy. There's
Yes. Now
yeah.
it's interesting that you talk about that, Trina, because you and I didn't talk. Let me see what I have a document that, well, maybe I don't. That it's like, well, maybe I do, maybe
Oh,
I
maybe
don't.
I don't.
But all right. So there is this thing called infrasonic. It's called, another term
Yes.
is inner sound.
Yeah.
Um, this associate I was talking about, and tune in tomorrow, folks. He says that the military has actually captured a live Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, I bet they have.
Yes, they have. This is recent, by the way,
Wow.
and it was caught in Ohio. But what they have found, and what he says, and he told me, he says, look into this. He says, look into this infrasound. And infrasound is something that's blowing me away. Behind me is actually what infrasound does.
Is that how they caught him?
He didn't say.
I bet
What
you
he
it is.
said
I bet it is. They locked his vibrational rate so he couldn't shift out of this dimension.
So
Frequency trap.
yes,
Wow.
my associate, as he was saying, what they're finding about infrasound is that it can cause people to think that they're talking to God. It can cause people to have super high anxiety. It can
Yeah.
cause people to become extremely afraid.
Yeah.
It can also
Yeah.
cause severe headaches.
Yes. I saw a cartoon for children. It was a science project it was done, and they were using the subliminals and the frequencies. The children died. They had
I
grand
believe
mal
that.
seizures and it killed them. And it was only like 2 minutes long. And it was black and white, even. It didn't even have color. Yeah, these things are very, very powerful. I mean, this is real. Frequency is what makes up our matter because it controls your vibratory spin of your atomic structure.
And the
So,
thing
yeah,
about it, audibly, humans only are in the, it's the 2% range in our ability to hear audible sounds.
yes.
And isn't it odd that we only see about 2 to 3% of the light spectrum?
Yeah, that was done. I think that was the shut off of the genetics. I think that was the fusing and the tweaking of the genetics because, yeah. But we still have those, though they're still in us. They're just dormant.
Well, it's like, you have the storybooks, Dr. Doolittle. The
Mhm.
whole thing about Dr. Doolittle was that he was able to hear the animals
Absolutely.
in the frequency of which they speak,
Yes.
just like Cody. And it's
Yeah.
just like Dancer. You learn these things.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can hear them. You can hear when a plant is in trouble. You can hear when an animal's in trouble because you not only hear it, you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a dual communication there. And that's our beautiful power of intuition and instinct.
Yes.
Mother and father part of our creative bodies. Then that's the dual.
You can't say mother and father anymore.
What, really?
You can't say male or female anymore.
Oh, I know. It's such a conundrum. Well, how do we identify polarity?
I'm trying to figure out how you're going to vote because in the Constitution it says a man and a woman. So I don't know. I'm
Oh,
confused. But
that's a great point. That's a
yeah,
great point to reestablish some sanity in a world of chaos.
I'm just saying now. Winchester. I don't.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I did. It really is.
Oh, it completely is because, yeah, this is how everything works here. It's based on duality. I mean, my goodness.
So it kind of gives me a question in my mind. Um, because I spend a lot of time when I can projecting myself what this next realm is going to be like. And so, as in this, the physical, so it shall be in the ethereal. So, what vibration do spirits primarily vibrate at?
I think it's so high that we can't perceive it. That's why we can't see them.
Do you think it's also, I think it could also be so low that we can't perceive it.
Absolutely, the
Yeah.
demonic realms, yes.
Yeah.
And when they talk about Jesus coming down in the clouds, and they talk about the clouds, and you see these pictures, and he's got these clouds under his feet with these spinning wheels. I wonder if
Mhm.
that's some type of a technology to slow the vibration down of a higher being, so we could visually and audibly perceive them.
Well, if you look at the Gospels in contextual what they say, it's quite the science fiction story because
That's
what
what
you
I think. Technology, Wayne. I keep
yeah,
seeing technology.
you got the Mount of Transfiguration. So you got Peter, James, and John there with the Christ, and all of a sudden, this cloud comes over him, and as they walk into it, they realize that they're no longer in this physical dimension. They are now in his dimension.
Yeah.
And Peter said so much, he says, well, let's make a temple here. Let's make an altar. And of course, Christ said, what the hell are you talking about, boy? But anyway,
That's so
then
funny.
you
And every
have
time
the,
I hear temple, you know what I see automatically in my mind is a template.
I agree. I agree. You
It's
know,
like I keep seeing this. It's just so weird. I don't think any of it is what we think it is. It's
one of the
all
things I
science.
learned about being in the charismatic movement was the ability of when you get individuals that begin to vibrate at a very high level, and that's what prayer and meditation is.
Yeah.
It calms the body, but it allows the spirit of the soul to ascend in supremacy to the body vibration. And I have seen the Shekinah glory of the Lord come down. I have seen where there were, and this was witnessed by many others. We saw at one Kenneth Hagin camp meeting. It was weird. It was like there was a veil that was torn apart, and there we saw these beings. I
So
mean,
awesome. Oh my God.
and the trumpets is what got me. I never heard trumpets like that, but there was this full manifestation. Now, is this validation that there is a God? I'm not questioning. I don't know. What I do know is that we were all so focused with anticipation of receiving something from this higher
Fantastic.
being that when and this is what's really weird because it's always preceded by when you have people singing. And in this case, we would start singing in the spirit. And shiata, yeah, and you begin to get these frequencies and these waves start beginning to be produced by the audience. And the next thing you begin to see, you're in a different realm.
That is so awesome.
And I contend we can do that. You don't need religion for that.
It's not about religion, it's
It's
about
exactly,
frequency.
exactly. We all have our own spirituality. And if we
Yeah, it
join our
doesn't matter
spirituality,
what it doesn't matter what you believe, as long as you're vibrating at a frequency match.
bingo.
It's irrelevant.
And I think that these beings matched our frequency. We were able to see
I
them
think they're
because we
meeting.
were, yeah,
It's
yeah.
somehow you're raising yours and
And
they're
they're lowering
lowering
theirs.
theirs, so
Yeah,
we can meet in the middle, because it's the
yeah,
only way we can get there is by a cooperation.
yep. And it doesn't last long because it takes so much energy. Now,
Yes.
in our case, this was down in Tulsa, Broken Arrow to be exact. And in that case, at that particular meeting, Kenneth Hagin was pointing out to everybody exactly what was happening. He, was witnessing this. And when we got distracted and put our focus over on him, it waned out. And then he would, rebuke the audience and say, get back into focus, get back into that praise, get back into that vibration. And all of a sudden, the manifestation opened up again.
Wow. The power, the difference between inner power and outer focus.
That's why you see demonics in riots.
Yeah.
If you look at the pictures, like Jane Tripp was showing, and you can look in a lot of the pictures where there are riots being taken, you get this same effect just on the opposite end.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah,
That makes so
yeah,
much sense.
yeah.
because
And that's right, Peter. I'm
everything's
stuck in the
vibration.
middle. Jokers to the right, fools to the right. But
I love that song.
yeah, I do too. Jerry
It's
Rafferty. I like
a
Baker
great
Street
song.
personally, my best, but the saxophone in that is great.
Oh, yes.
But that is one of the things that I contend that we can once again capture. What I learned from that is that that audience, of which there was about 1,000 people there, no one had the same internal vision of what Christ is or what God is. I mean, we all have like you said, we all have it individually, but we were
That's
able to
why
unite.
that's why it could manifest in this reality, was because all those different parts is closer to the truth of creator.
Yeah,
So that energy with all
yeah.
those different points of view could actually manifest in this material realm through that potential, because of its power, of its lack of my way's best.
Bingo. Now there's
Yes.
a part two to this, because what took place in that 20 minutes, that there were mass healings.
Oh yeah,
3
totally.
people who were blind got their sight back.
That's so wow.
I mean, there were women who had internal issues. One particular, the flow stopped
Yeah.
and never returned back. But that was the interesting thing of what happened. And if you look at this from a different perspective, it tells you that these bodies respond to that frequency. There
We
is
are
something that regenerates.
we're an antenna. Can you dial
Exactly.
in? Can you get
Yes.
the dial right? Can you tune in? Tune in.
Tune
You
in.
create it inside, and then you can match it on the outside. I really do believe that that's the meaning of heaven, connecting heaven and earth. It's because you're connecting earth by creating a resonance of a higher vibration, which is the heavenly, which they call heaven. So it's
Yes.
antenna work.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's vibration. What is your signal? What is your tuning forks going to? Because you're going to match.
And that's really what I think, the whole metaphysical movement is about, is how do we raise? I think so many people start at such a base vibration,
Yes.
you know.
I think that actually we start as babies very
Oh,
high, and
now
then we
that
just
is true.
get,
That
yeah,
is
then
true.
we
Yeah.
just get lower and denser, and we get more into the flesh and more into the world and more into, and it's just more veils and more veils and more veils.
Well, the
Yeah.
spirit becomes absorbed into the body. I mean, I was talking to my body this morning, and one of the things I have learned is that my body has a spirit. It's
Yes.
independent of me.
Yes.
And when I've acknowledged now my body spirit, my body responds back now.
Yes, because that's when I found that out, was when I had to argue with that neck.
Bingo.
My
Yeah.
client was totally ready to heal, and her neck was like, nope, not doing it. I was like, what?
Not participating today.
I wasn't ready for that. I was like, wait a minute.
Uh,
You have your own consciousness. It's like, oh, you bet I do. And I'm controlling everything that's going on here because this is my domain. I was like, whoa.
whoa. It's like, all right.
Yeah, the body definitely has its
Yeah,
own.
it does. I mean, it's like the allegory of the stomach to the calf muscle. I mean, they're within the same body, but their functionality is completely, how should we say, different.
Very, and it's so funny too, because you keep talking about the calf, and it's so funny because that's the shin. And the shin is the part of the body that's Aquarius. We just moved
Yes.
out of the feet, Pisces, and we've moved into the shin, Aquarius.
Isn't it odd too if you ever hit your shin bone?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Oh,
oh
yeah.
man.
Think about it too, the Hebrew shin.
Yes. Yes.
It's interesting.
And Shem was one of Noah's son. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Shin. Now I'm getting to see things and it actually is more Chinese as I'm seeing this. There's that correlation. And speaking of the Chinese with the Far East, they knew about vibration. They
Yeah.
knew about pressure points of how the body absorbs energy, and that these bodies are not only absorbers, but they're transmitters at the same time.
They call them rivers of energy, the rivers of
Mm.
chi. And boy, man, they're masters. I have never seen such brilliance of application of understanding the rivers of energy that flow through our body, which they call the meridians. And man, they are
I
that's
knew a woman, she was from China, and she's no longer living here, but I went to her for about 4 or 5 months because she had a way of the deep tissue massage that was using a portion of somewhat acupuncture and then
that's what it's
pressure.
called. Yes, it's
Yeah,
called,
yeah.
yeah,
And the
acupressure.
stones, that she laid in it was very zen. It was
Yes,
very zen. Yeah.
absolutely. That's me. I have jade stones, carmelite
Yeah.
stones. I have all different kinds, but the strongest ones are the basalt, the black ones, the volcanic ones. Those are the ones that will pull babies into the world before their time.
She would she would always have me drink some ginseng tea before
Oh,
the massage.
to fire your chi.
Yeah, and I'm
As an
just,
activator, yeah, that
yeah.
makes
See,
total
I didn't
sense.
know that. It was like, and
Fire up the engines.
it's like, boy, by the time you get in there, it's like, all right,
Yeah, ready to move
yeah.
some chi. Let's move some
I
chi.
told Lynn, and Lynn went to her. I said, it was for me, it was very spiritual,
Yes,
because just the way that her energy would flow, it for me, and it was this real buzz in the crown, the chakra, the corona, the
absolutely.
corona. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, I
Yeah,
totally relate to that, Wayne. Energy medicine is some of the most powerful medicine, and it is based on frequency because that's what you're doing. When you're restoring the vibration, it's restoring a frequency and a sound.
it
And
is.
it's like it's retoning the entire structure. It's mind blowing in all actuality. It can literally transform matter within your
I believe it can. I mean, I have no doubt that our
the
friend
blind,
Brian.
the blind getting healed. That's transformation of matter due to vibration. That's all that is.
And in fact, it's really about transmutation. Let me pull this up. I have a couple of websites I found, and as he says, where are they at? Du-du-du-du-du-du. I think we can do that.
They always talk about transmutation with that violet fire. And violet fire looks like plasma energy.
Yes, vibrational energy. It's what it's all about. I mean,
It is.
it's actually transmutable. Laying on of hands.
Yep.
I mean, folks, if you have ailments, you need to understand your hands. There are gifted healers. There are those of us who are natural healers. But just like that, I think, and this is what Julie was saying, rub your hands 3 times. And, I always put it to where you're converting the second and third laws of thermodynamics. And these hands are healers. What's the connection between thoughts, behaviors, and vibrations? We all know this. There is a huge benefit upside, and Trina, you're trained in this, of what vibrational therapy actually does.
It like I said, it can I've seen it be able to do almost anything. It's about there has to be three principles intact. You have to have some form of base knowledge of how to make your energy work inside your own being, the belief in the power of moving energy. And then after that, there's some type of an awareness or a shift of the mental processes of some belief, thought pattern, or trauma. When there's some type of an activation with those three elements, it seems like the body can literally transmute or completely knock out all kinds of things and restructure it into its original template.
This is interesting. And as you can see here, the thing I want to talk about is trauma. By the way, folks, I'll put these in the things here in the description box when I repost this. Trauma.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm reading this paper, and trauma keeps the circuit open.
Yeah.
lot of times I have been told that trauma has a tendency to clog, but actually it's just the opposite. In electricity, if you keep the circuit on all the time, you're eventually going to burn out the circuit.
That's what it does. It burns out the
Thank you.
adrenal glands, the adrenal system, and that controls the immune system and controls anxiety and depression and chemical production. It's basically keeping your body in a fight or flight response situation, which eventually creates breakdown.
And this is why people say that they feel drained
Yeah.
now, because there's something that is stealing the energy or channeling it. And these are the traumas that we don't want to recognize, but yet at the same time, they're causing more trauma to
Yes.
these body spirits.
Yeah, because it's causing a parasympathetic response within the body.
Perfect word for that. Perfect word.
Yeah.
You're
Parasympathetic
smart.
responses. And those are the hidden five that we need to learn how to control and work with. It's the chemical parts, the
So when
glandular.
you have a client, I don't know, you can call it a patient as
Mhm.
well. Um, how long does it take you to actually reach a breakthrough? I mean, the first session is just kind of get to know the energy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, first
Yeah,
session is usually just building rapport. Then, after that, I've never had to see anything for more than 4 times. Never hit
interesting.
the fifth. So it's like normally the first one is building rapport, understanding how the process goes, seeing and understanding, wow, this isn't a big deal. All the fear's gone. So then the second time, usually when they go in, they know what's going on and they start driving more, which is what I prefer. And then, like I said, if they haven't knocked it out by that, normally by the third time, it's done. And then if there's anything left, it's only because it unlocks a different layer that was underneath that. So it's even just a greater form of discovery of trauma that may not have even consciously ever been seen until that trauma was dealt with. So yeah,
Do
the
you hear
mind is
that?
layered. I mean, I've
I,
been hearing stuff for a couple of days
I'm
and then I
hearing, it's weird. I can hear it.
wow.
It's it's someone talking, but that's weird. Get on out of there, man. I mean,
Absolutely.
only room enough for my ears in there. That's weird. I mean, but listen, it doesn't surprise me because even by discussing this, the energy is being communicated through this medium.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
and the vibration of the thought sends ripples out into the pond of the big ocean of consciousness that we're in. So absolutely.
it's still going.
That is so interesting,
I'm
Larry.
like, now wait a minute. I don't, it's like, yeah, it's just very strange. It goes to show you that our vibrations, I mean, I know that the aura changes, remember back in the 70s, for me, for the 70s, we used to have mood rings.
Yes,
Yeah.
I still do.
Do
I
you?
love
Okay.
them. I do.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I mean, and back then, I was a much more free living, free spirited, and let me just put it that way. But it was interesting because we would get in. I learned about kinetic energy from human beings as being a hippie because, when there's no one out there that gives a damn about you, you find that the souls that you interact with become the most important thing to you.
They are your family.
Exactly. And those nights that we would sit out, whether it was on the beach or out when we were out by Big Bend out in West Texas and other places up around Austin, we would get in the campfire and we would learn that when we would grasp hands,
Yeah.
and yes, we were stoned at the time, but we also did this in the middle of the day. We practiced the transmutation of energy. And it's
Wow.
interesting because if when we got good enough at this, the circle could identify within the circle if there was an issue. And many times this would show up. Sometimes it would be a dark kind of a thing, and other times it would be very bright. But yeah, and
That's
then I learned it, in religion, in organized religion, how certain organized religions capitalize on this. They want you to make you think that this is a miracle, that this is something that is not of this earth. But the reality is, folks, it's us generating the energy. And that's what I learned, Trina. I learned that at a very early age in life.
that's profound to me that you kids were doing that. That's so profound to me that you are so freaking woke.
No one cared about us. I
That
mean,
that's what made you so woke.
yeah.
I was just seeing the correlation between that, like coming in with such a strong mission and purpose that you can't have comfort to keep you focused. It's so crazy what I'm seeing with that. It's like you guys are warriors, and to be doing that work at that young of an age, wow.
We really
Wow.
didn't know what we were doing, but we know
But
that
you did, though. There was
yeah,
something
yeah,
inside of
yeah,
you that did,
yeah.
and you were all finding each other at that moment and under those crazy circumstances. If that hadn't happened, you would have never been there
Mm.
creating that at that specific time. And that's just profound.
It
Wow.
it was the thing that I needed, because as a I didn't know what love was. For me, love was pain,
Right.
you know, human relationships, because, there was no bond there of trust. And so for myself, going out into the world, I had to have my peers that were at the same age I was. Some were, 2 or 3 years ahead of me, but it was during those healing ceremonies, and that's what I look back on now, that
Yeah.
allowed me to grow forth a new heart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Healed you, and it showed
Yeah.
you what love was.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. You didn't find it the traditional way. You found it through brotherly love,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
true.
a collective, not a bloodline attached. It was like you found it from just normal human beings who were vibrating with a similar frequency as you.
Wandering hippies.
Yeah, but brought there
Uh,
through circumstances and
yeah.
challenge.
Yeah.
And through that challenge, wanting and needing love, you found a different way.
As I'm talking, it's invoking a lot of memories. The tapes are replaying. The thing that I remember
Powerful. Whoa.
about most of the girls, every one of them been sexually abused at home.
Absolutely.
Every one of them.
Absolutely.
you know
Stories of my
so I hear as you're talking here, I can really see it. I didn't realize at the time, but we were learning how to reestablish trust.
you were learning how to be loved and
Yeah.
to love and how to, yes, all of those. You guys
Yep.
were learning so much through loving each other. Wow, that's what I mean. That's profound that you knew to hold hands and work energy and wow.
Well, we just didn't. It was the natural thing to do.
That's what Wayne,
Yeah.
that's just powerful,
Mhm.
beautiful. I mean,
Mhm.
so many kids that have these protected, perfect environments, they've never experienced anything like that ever.
No.
They will never experience that kind of love, which is profound.
I look back, I love every one of them. We didn't have a safety net. That was the thing. There was no safety net. There was
Yeah,
just us.
that's it. And other than each
Yeah.
other, that was it.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
I remember decades later, um, Pam, and saw her in Las Vegas at a convention, and it was that moment in time, where
Yeah.
we both looked at, well, here we are now, but we remembered where we had come from, and
Just like being back together at
yeah,
that
yeah,
same
yeah,
time. It's so
yeah,
powerful.
yeah,
Something
like no
about
time had
child.
passed at all.
That's what I mean. There's something
Yeah,
magical about
yeah,
childhood friends,
yeah,
real ones.
yeah.
That is
Hmm.
something that is unlike anything else. It is like it don't matter. You don't see them for 20 years and you just see them. It's like you never left.
And I have no doubt many of them was the soul tribe that I came from. I mean,
Yes.
I'm sure when I step over, they're going to
Yeah.
go, yeah, how about that?
They'll be like, brother, you rode that pony longer than we did.
Said, what happened to the hair, Steiger? You had a lot more when we knew you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but you
often
can
tell
stay
them.
on that bull longer. Yeah.
I just tell them I had wavy hair. It's just waving goodbye. That's all. Yeah.
That's it. Mine's wavy. Yes.
And
Hey, you
it's
needed
true.
some room for your shine,
There you
right?
go. I mean, in fact, in the Jewish custom, did you know that Elijah was bald?
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Most of the prophets were bald.
That would make sense.
I always loved the story about Elijah when he was walking along the path, and they said there was a group of three young men, which I guess they were teenagers, who knows, were making fun of him because he was bald. Well, Elijah just called out into the forest, and there was a lion, a bear, and something else that came out and ate the three that were making fun of him.
Oh,
So don't mess with the prophet, man.
yeah. And do you see how that he could control nature?
Yes, yes.
I'm telling you, this is
Yeah.
the key to mastery is you don't get to work one or the other. You have to understand how to work both.
And isn't that the struggle? How we, you know, I think sometimes we try so hard that we inevitably screw it up.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, how
because
long has it taken you? You're a natural, you're gifted. You came into this realm for this mission.
yeah.
And you recognize that very early. But I contend, as you and I've talked about opening up our own mystery school, that the vast majority of young people, they can become disconnected into their natural calling. And then they spend the rest of their lives in misery.
Yes. My God, yes. Especially with technology, man, they're
Yes.
really messed up. Yeah, they're really messed
I
up.
see technology as the dark Sith.
It is. And it's like this is part of their reality, but they need to find a way to get reconnected back into the earth energies. Most of them have never even been camping.
Mm-mm.
Never
No.
in their lifetime have they ever smelled the crackling open fire, done s'mores, listened to the sound of of night in a forest. They've never experienced it. They've never sat next to a waterfall and
Mm-mm.
felt the ions that come from it and the way the air feels different and smelled the smell of it.
You
These
know
are the
what else they've never experienced?
what?
Holding hands in a circle and
Yeah,
allowing the energy to begin.
feeling that
Yeah.
heart connection when you hold hands. It's like it's heart to heart to heart to heart. Yeah.
Mm.
And there's something magical about these little stars we carry on the ends of our
Mm.
arms here.
I see the day when we shall all hold hands
Me
and
too.
lift up that energy. I
I
see the
see us doing
day.
it, Wayne. I see us over the whole world sometimes, and we're like
Uh-huh.
giants. And we're
Yeah.
so big, we can encircle the earth. And I see us
Yeah.
holding hands around the whole earth, our soul
Yeah.
tribe.
Yeah. That's where it all happens. Because when you're holding hands with another person, you're not going to harm them. You're
No,
not going to steal from them. You're not going to cheat them. You're not going to do anything. It's
no,
it's it's the energy. Yeah.
trust.
It's the
Yeah, and
trust.
and
You know.
connection and
Yeah.
connect.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm,
This
mm.
is what they're trying so hard right now to divide. They're starting racism with the white thing and all this. It's like the division. It's old game. We
I
win when we
remember
hold
Carl
hands.
Santana. I saw him in concert in I think it was 73 in Houston. And
Hmm,
what was so interesting about Carl, he was very spiritual. Not
yeah.
religious, he was spiritual. And I remember and he stopped and he says, I want everyone to hold hands.
Yeah.
And it passed on. I saw other groups begin to do it because when that crowd there, which was 20,000, when we all began to hold hands, something happened.
It's magical.
It is magical. And then he started in playing, I think it was Europa. But anyway, it was just
Yeah.
incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
and we've lost that, Trina. We this group here, I can't, I look forward to the day when we will come together.
Well, this is what we have to do. See, this is how manifestation works. We have to visualize it,
Yes. And it will
see
come to
it,
pass.
see it, and it will manifest.
And
Bottom
expect.
line. Just like it is already like a no-brainer. It is gonna be done. It happens. Seriously, no room for none of that other crap. Done.
I
And just
love
see
it.
it. And when you see it, feel how amazing it would be for us to meet each other and to be able to sit around a campfire and talk
Mm,
and enjoy music and be, just be, just being together. How wonderful would that be? Imagine it however you see it, on a beach, in the forest, whatever. Use your, because the more of us that dream the dream, when the
mm.
dream actually comes to manifestation, it'll be better than any one of us imagined on our own, because it'll have so many surprises.
I think David Barry said this a couple of times a while back, but as he said, if we all could just simply begin to think of the same thing, it's going to
Yeah,
build up
yeah.
in the ethereal realm, and those thought forms will find each other, and then it
What
becomes
if,
such a great force that it cannot be stopped.
Wayne, this is medicine that we need right now, because the unity
Mm,
that's pushed on us right now is dark.
mm,
And the only way to correct that is to counter it with unity of love.
yep, yep.
Boy, yeah. All we have to do is envision it, us hugging and holding hands and singing together and dancing together, vacationing together, enjoying each other, and just seeing it, just see it, see it, see it. And that if we keep focusing on that, not only will it manifest, it'll help the world.
My cousin once lived in Eureka in California, and outside there they had the giant redwood forest where the fairies live, the little people.
They do.
And I've seen them dance in the forest, the little lights. And
Oh,
it's
oh,
Mark Twain saw them as well. They're there. I don't know if they're there these days. I hope they are, but yeah,
I bet that they are.
yeah. But that happens when we start dancing.
It's
I'll take my wife many times, I'll just start dancing with her because I said, honey, this is an expression of the soul. I want
yes.
to, I want to feel your vibe, baby. Or is
Yeah.
the,
No, Wayne, when I see our light bodies in the higher realms, there's no speech. It's only, it's energy and motion, and it looks like dance. And that's one of the ways we communicate. It's through motion, energy moving, and we understand each other through the energy motion. It's, I think that's why dance is so original. The, it's, we
Barry
need it.
White, if any of you are fans of
I love Barry White.
Barry White's got the sexual vibration going on. I mean, I'm going to tell you what, you can have your partner, your lover, and you put some
Yep.
Barry White on, and I'm going to tell you what, some action is going to start happening, baby. I
Yep.
mean, yeah,
Yep.
I just love his whole vibe. It's like, yes, that's what it is.
Yes, and
Yeah.
it's so funny, like Enigma, the music from Enigma,
Yes.
that reminds me of the old religion, the sacred sexual
Mm-hmm.
practices was filled with a lot of that vibration of music. It's like when I heard that music, that's when I started connecting to those memories. I was like, wow, sound was such a big
Mm.
part of this.
And Western culture, modern day culture, unfortunately, has hijacked the whole sexuality thing.
Oh,
That the those before us, they recognized the power that could be harnessed within that, and it's,
and
yeah.
that's why, yeah, that's why there was, they would beat the prostitutes and kill them and stuff. Women that embraced that power died.
People don't understand, even from Christianity, the temples had the temple prostitutes.
And the temple priestess.
Exactly. There was
So
something
yeah,
very sacred on that.
there were different levels and layers of that. Yeah.
And then when I really want to trip out, I put Enya on.
The Enya is one of my
Oh,
favorites. That's
yeah.
Enya and Enigma are
Yes.
two of my most sacred places. Like,
Orinoco
and then another
Falls.
one. Have you ever heard Diva Primal?
I don't believe so. I'll
Oh,
have to
you want
check
to
that
check
out.
that out, Wayne, because that's the Hindu Shakti Shiva. Oh
Okay.
wow! And the ancient tantric chanting. The
Mm-hmm.
you know that that's the only the only artist in the past 30 or 50 years that has been invited to perform for the church, the Pope, repeatedly. He knows the power of what she's singing. Yeah,
Uh,
Diva Primal. Check it out. Om Shanti.
Diva Pramal. All right.
Yeah, Diva Primal. And
Okay.
she sings with Mitten. She does a lot of stuff with Mitten too. Their music is just it's ancient, and they brought it back. And you when you hear it, you know it. It's
The
really
blue
cool.
beings,
Yeah.
which were the Hindu gods, that's what they were all about, was vibration and frequency.
When you hear this music, you can hear
Yeah.
those ancient instruments that make that
Mm,
vibrational sound, that
yeah.
Indian sound. It's beautiful. It really is. So that's another one of my favorites,
I have to
to
look into
start
that.
to activate those more of the serpent energies, more of the magical vibrational. It's very, very ancient.
I'm
It's
gonna check
just
that out.
very ancient. Yeah. Yeah.
Because of my ancestral background, I always liked Celtic woman.
Oh, I love that
I've seen them
too.
a number of times back about a decade ago when it was
Oh,
still,
I love them.
yeah,
Oh, what
yeah, just,
talent. Oh,
oh,
oh, yes.
and
Isn't
their
that weird?
first
We
album
listen
was
to
just,
so many of the same things when we
isn't
want
it?
to
I
get
mean,
into
here
that
I'm going,
state.
you see, that's why I
Yeah.
know we all could live together because, you may
Yeah.
have your own domicile, but the community center will be a happening place.
Oh, absolutely. With
I
the
mean,
music and
yeah, I
yeah, the
mean,
different. Yeah.
wow.
Oh,
This has just been great.
oh, belly dancing. Woohoo. Yeah, let's,
Mm.
oh,
Now, how
dang.
could someone
Fun.
give us two thumbs down? What does it matter? They don't like love. Is that what it is?
No,
We
they're
just
having a
just
bad
throw love
day.
all over them, you
It was
know?
that talking thing in their head. It said, smash the down button.
Smash the down button.
Smash the down. They said,
And
okay.
actually it's a CIA uh um compliance thing, get you in to be following the crowd. You want the thumbs up because it gives you gratification. But I always figure it's like this. I didn't like broccoli the first time I tasted it.
Right.
Yeah, I like it now.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
That's me. Couldn't do
yeah,
onions, bell peppers. Now I
yeah,
love them.
yeah. I can eat it raw. I can eat it steamed. I mean, it's
Yeah,
all the same. Yeah,
me too. I
yeah.
like broccoli, and I
And I
didn't eat
still like Cat in the
broccoli.
Hat. Green eggs I am, said Sam I am. One fish,
Yes.
two fish, three fish, four.
I'm having so much Alice in Wonderland stuff popping up right now too. It's
It
very,
is. We are deep in the rabbit hole, dear.
I'm telling you, since the
Like,
Mad Hatter
whoosh.
and the whole thing.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Organic Intelligence 313. Well, we're glad you had a good time. Hope everyone did.
Yes, we love
Yeah.
you. It's so fun to be with you guys.
It's a fun. I mean, I look forward to all the Tuesdays. I don't know
Yeah, and
about
I
you.
do see a lot of this soul tribe when I go and do my work, and because I always call my friends, and you guys show up, so thank you.
You know, um, I love the Friday night, the Andromeda 7 group. That's
It's
really
fun.
growing. It
It's super
is.
fun. But the
Yes.
Mad Hatter was a blast. I had so much fun. It's so powerful to be silly.
Yeah.
We need to just laugh and be silly and lighten up. It's just so important.
Laughter.
It's so
Laughter,
important.
folks.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doeth the heart is a good medicine.
Yeah, and I really think a good focus for us is to just imagine us getting together in real life, because whatever I'm hearing that this is going to be really powerful healing, guys. We need this. And this will open up for other people to be able to come together that want to come together. This is like what we need. We really do. So imagine it every day.
I do. Because if we can continue to build on this energy, the energy itself will do the work.
Absolutely. The
Yeah,
universe will just absolutely give you
it will.
everything you
Yeah,
need to make it come into
yeah,
manifestation. Absolutely.
yeah.
Especially when it's in alignment with good. It's a very powerful, positive stream of energy, and it has a lot of force to work
That's
with.
what people say they like it here. They say this is a
Yeah,
groovy group, and I especially
I just
enjoyed
saw the B-52s, the love shack
Shack,
is a
the
little
Love Shack. I
place.
saw them at Red Rocks, and I got to tell you what. Now that's a song where everybody was a grooving.
Yes, glitter all over, glitter on the mattress.
A
Yes,
love shack.
oh, fun.
I said the love shack is a place where we
Yeah, we can get to
together.
yeah.
And I enjoyed seeing Coyote Prophet, or is it Prophet
Yeah,
Coyote?
Coyote Prophet.
Coyote Prophet. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, enjoyed that. So this is like I said, I love the other channels, and we're getting to know other people, and the tribe is
That
growing.
I love every time we get to see a new face. It's a stronger connection.
It is.
So
Yeah.
it's wonderful. I really, really, that's one of my favorite things. It's like meeting new soul tribe. I love it.
Well, I kind of look at it like, I don't get in the chat, but I listen, and it's kind of like, living in a commune where there's a community where you just get to visit each other's house. You just stop in and have a cup of coffee, maybe have a biscuit or something, and you get into the conversation and you groove, and then you move into the next house. And yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It's so amazing too, because like I get to see them once in a while for the road, because they're on the road. It's like we manifest these things. And I'm starting to see it happening because I'm going to go see Marsha and go dig for crystals too. One way or another, it's happening before May, or May is the deadline, but it might happen before, or it might even happen twice. So, it's like it's starting to build, and we're going to build this because, guys, I really do. I do know that as many as possible of us are supposed to find a way to come together.
Well, I'll
Amen.
be heading to East Tennessee looking at some property, so I'm probably going to stop by and see Marsha. We're going to try to go in her region and
You mean
uh,
Tennessee?
East Tennessee.
That's Brenda. Marsha's in
Yeah,
Arkansas.
I know it, but for us, she's on the way
Oh, right on.
from
Oh, God,
Colorado.
this
We're going to
is
take the
fun.
southern route.
That is awesome. Well, I can tell you who's there is Brenda.
I know. We'll be talking, reaching out to her. We have friends there, and I lived in Knoxville for 10 years. Almost died there, but
I
I
think I
always
think I think she's in Kingsport.
she's up there in the Tri-City areas. We're looking at property there and over in Carolina. We want to get we the availability of land is much more desirous where we see it out there in that region.
Yes, man. A lot of people are moving to North Carolina.
We're looking at property up in Boone as well. So
Right on,
yeah.
right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I go to Tennessee, I want to go see Brenda.
Well,
It's
we'll just have you come here. I mean, we're gonna, we'll just
so
make
basic,
it.
because she sells Brian's house.
That's right. And Crystal lives there, doesn't she?
Yes,
Crystal
she does.
MacArthur? Yeah, that's what
Yes,
I
she does.
thought.
And
Yeah.
I have a bunch of friends there because my one of my best friends just moved from Tennessee to Arizona. That's how I got to
Wow, now
see
that's a
Brian.
change.
Well,
You
yeah,
go from
because
green to brown?
she grew up here, and then
Oh, okay. All right.
yeah, because her
Yeah.
father-in-law moved with the power plants, because they got a lot
Okay.
of power plants in Tennessee. So that's why they ended up
Yeah.
moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so weird. I have such a
Candy
strong
apples in Middle Tennessee.
right on. I have such a connection to
Yeah.
Tennessee, and I've
Yeah.
never lived there, but it is like it's one of the most common places I've traveled in my entire life in the United States. And I've never lived there, but I keep going to Tennessee because I
Love
keep
Tennessee.
finding people that I love, and they all live in Tennessee. It's weird.
Here's a trivia question for you.
What?
Which state has the most states around it and how many?
I don't know. Is it Tennessee? And
It's
it's seven?
Tennessee and it's seven.
Six?
Seven.
Seven?
Seven states. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Seven.
I know it.
Go to. I saw something about um I think it was on Rex, and this guy was on, and he was talking about a national park in Tennessee and how he thinks it's one of the pieces of the Ark of the Covenant, and it has to do
Wow.
with the megalithic monolith that's actually in Tennessee. And he says that Tennessee is like one of the ancient sacred energy centers of awakening or ascension to spirit. And the map is on these hieroglyphs in this park, and it shows you when you ascend, you shoot for Orion's belt and hook a sharp left to get to the Milky Way.
I love this.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah, I
Tennessee.
mean, this is so
Yeah, like
cool.
place. I keep finding more cool stuff about it every day. And all I love
Mossy
all.
Man says he's from the Boone area. Beautiful land up there, sir. It
Yeah,
is beautiful. Well, Miss Trina, this hour gone by quick.
it always does.
Yeah, I know it.
It always
You know,
does. I love you guys so much. I love you, Soul Tribe. Love you, Wayne. Mwah.
I love you,
You guys are the
darling. And
best.
I love everybody in here. Y'all are just groovy people. And
Yeah.
every one
So
of you, just thank you for your kindness and uh visit Franklin, North Carolina. All right. Well, I'll tell my wife about that.
right on.
Uh Mad Cow Perkins says, you're welcome here. All right.
Right.
Greasy Creek, Tennessee. I love that.
I love that name too.
You
Yeah.
know, there is a road. It's off 75 as you're going from Knoxville up to Kentucky, and it's called Stinking Creek Road. Who names a road Stinking Creek? I mean, and you know, and if it's true, then why would you want to get off there? I don't know.
Yeah. Nope. 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 Nope.
Nope, nope,
Nope.
nope, nope,
Nope.
nope,
I
nope, nope,
wouldn't do
not
it
gonna do
either.
it.
I'm like stinking. What's what? No.
Mm-mm.
Words have meaning, and now
Yes,
that
they
I
do.
understand that, I would really run away from that.
It's like the snake said when they bit the woman. I told you I was a snake.
Right.
Exactly. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Sally, Gaia, all the rest of you,
Love
Kat.
you
Thank
guys.
you so much. We love you. And Miss Trina, they'll see you Friday night, right?
Yep, I believe so.
Uh,
A7. In a couple weeks, so I think I'm going to be on a vacation, so I'm gonna have to be
okay.
gone for the weekend.
All right. And then with Robert on Saturday nights,
Yes, yes.
Milk Away
Absolutely.
Soul Tribe.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
mean, of course, if his work doesn't prevent him, because that's the
No.
only sometimes.
Robert, we're sending you good vibes. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Love you. See you
Hey,
tomorrow.
did
What?
you hear about the big ice shelf that broke off Antarctica?
Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody's gone surfing.
Yeah, that's a sign for me because the
And
child prophet, she said when the ice starts to melt,
it's a
it's
meltdown.
melting. So yeah,
It's a
woohoo,
meltdown.
here we go. Get your
All right, folks,
surfboard,
strap
right?
in.
Yeah, get your surfboard.
All right, everybody. We love you.
Much
See
love
you
y'all.
tomorrow.